your boy, Marky, yo. And your boy, J Ski, yeah. Yes, sir, man. We back at it again with another video, man. Hey. Happy Sunday to all y'all, man. Today we got a little special treat for y'all. We got how Michael Jordan became Michael Jordan. You know what I'm saying? So make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Tell him.
Make sure y'all thank God for everything.
God is good. God is great. Hope y'all have a wonderful day. Hope y'all have a great rest of this year. Let's get straight into this video. Go ahead.
I felt like I earned my stripes in the third game. Milwaukee's always been a nemesis for Chicago.
Every time we played them, they beat us. They had Sidney Moncrief, who was the reigning defensive player of the year, and they had a tremendous defensive team.
I kind of thought I knew his potential because I had played against the best players in the NBA so far, the Magics and the Birds and Dr. J and Kareem. And all of a sudden, this rookie comes into the NBA. I watched the way he moved on the court and his instincts. I'm like, wow, that's going to be scary.
Came in, torching.
Cooking them boys. They said he was Mike Jordan and turned into Michael Jordan. Michael Air Jordan.
When Michael Jordan was entering the NBA, just about everyone knew that he was going to be special. But as far as I can tell, only one man knew just how special, which is when the legendary head coach Bobby Knight said that Michael Jordan was the greatest player he had ever seen before he had even played his first game in the NBA. Obviously, not everyone was on board with that initial proclamation. Otherwise, MJ wouldn't have been taken third overall in the 1984 NBA draft. But still, that is a high selection relatively to most prospects, and people in Chicago believed they had plenty of reason to be optimistic. They witnessed him excel as a North Carolina Tar Heel. They saw him tear it up in the Olympic Games, and they even got to watch him play very well in the preseason. But even with that being said, there was still a general hesitancy from the fans to embrace him as a future all-time great, until they saw him have an epic performance in official NBA competition. In his regular season debut, MJ had a solid all-around game, but he was also quite inefficient, as he struggled to find the touch. In the contest, he had 16 points on 16 shots, but he also had 7 assists, 6 rebounds, 2 steals, and 4 blocks. In his second game, he was solid, but pretty tame by his standards, as he scored 21 points, had 5 rebounds, and 5 assists, while making 8 of his 13 shots. At this point, the organization and the Chicago faithful knew they had a pretty quality player on their hands. But let's be real, neither of these first 2 games were the kind of performance that make you immediately jump to the conclusion that you may have drafted one of the greatest players ever. And then, the third game of the regular season happened. It came on October 29th, 1984, in a home matchup against the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, this Bucks team were no slouches. The season prior, they had the best defense in the entire league in terms of points allowed. They had won 50 games, and they made it all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals before being eliminated by the eventual champion Boston Celtics. This season, they came back even stronger, as they were led by their trio of stars in Terry Cummings, Paul Pressey, and Sidney Moncrief. In the case of Moncrief, he was the league's reigning back-to-back Defensive Player of the Year winner. And tonight, he had the assignment of guarding the rookie, Michael Jordan. Now you need to understand, although Michael was already beloved by the fans in the Windy City, he was still finding his way. Many people at the time were still calling him Mike Jordan instead of Michael Jordan, and even his nicknames took some time to take shape, as he was often being referred to as Captain Marvel.
Jones stepped it out to Jordan down the lane, all the way, and he poured in! Cuts it, he turns it on, and he becomes Captain Marvel, slides down the lane, around, banks, and in. Here's Jordan down the middle, all the way! And Captain Marvel comes back again.
That's good, yeah. Captain
This was a
Marvel's
title
nickname?
that MJ really wasn't a fan of. But after this game, the fans and commentators would be willing to call Michael basically whatever he wanted. Early into the contest, Jordan's skills were on display, as he showed off his fantastic footwork and his mid-range artistry. He even showcased some of his tremendous finishing abilities around the rim. With that being said, he was playing within the flow of the offense, and nothing particularly explosive had taken place. The overwhelming talent of Milwaukee enabled the Bucks to get an early lead, and they would hold it through the vast majority of the game. Only moments into the fourth quarter, and the Bucks held a significant lead, 89-80. This was the moment where Michael Jordan would show just how special he really was. That beyond all of the crazy athleticism and dazzling plays, there was something more. There was a competitive fire, the heart of a champion, and a clutch gene capable of birthing a dynasty. Jordan proceeded to absolutely erupt as the crowd grew louder and louder with each clutch basket. The elite Milwaukee defense looked as if they were a junior varsity team trying to compete with a pro, as they had no answer whatsoever for this third game rookie. He hit a series of driving layups and difficult jumpers. And then, late in the game, in a one-possession deficit, Jordan would hit an incredible shot through a triple team. And based on the reaction of the commentators and the crowd, you could tell that this was the moment where everyone began to realize the level of greatness that they were witnessing. To me, this should be one of the most iconic plays of Michael Jordan's entire career, because this was arguably the first moment where Jordan set Chicago ablaze with excitement and wonder. This was the instant where he started to change the perception of an onlooking city, from tempering their expectations of a young man barely old enough to drink, to seeing him as a leader who could take their lowly organization to the promised land and deliver them a title. MJ wasn't even done. He continued to pour in baskets, and in that fourth quarter alone, he had 3 momentum-seizing and 1 plays. And on the final basket, he beautifully weaved through all 5 defenders on his way to score, capped off with his signature fist pump. He led his Bulls to victory over the heavily favored Bucks, 116-110. And incredibly, he scored 22 of his 37 points in the fourth quarter alone. Scoring 22 points in a game as a rookie is an amazing feat, but doing it in only the fourth quarter of your third game against one of the best teams in the league is basically unheard of. After this victory, the organization knew everything they needed to know about this young kid that they called Mike Jordan. If you ask me, this was the day that the GOAT truly arrived on the NBA scene. So now it's your turn. When do you think was the moment when people began to understand just how special Michael Jordan was going to be? I look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comment section below.
Man, that's crazy.
Jeez. I ain't gonna lie, your third game in the NBA. Third game in the NBA. And you go for 37 on them boys. That's insane.
Against a good defensive team, he was torturing them, making them look like little kids.
Oh, bro, he was mad explosive as a rookie. Like, he in the air like this, like that on him. Like, he doing all types of stuff in the air. And then they called him, before anything, Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel's crazy.
Dang, like, he had all the nicknames. They called him Black Jesus, Air Jordan. He had it all. Like, it's crazy just to hear his story, though, because he got cut from his high school basketball team. He could have just looked back and be like, I don't want to play basketball no more. The man kept going and became the greatest basketball player to ever do it. That's insane work, man. But y'all let me know in the comments, man, what was y'all, like, moment when y'all seen Mike played and y'all was like, oh, yeah, he going to be great. Because a lot of y'all probably say college. After he hit that shot, y'all probably was going to be like, in college, he was him. You know what I'm saying? But y'all let me know in the comments, man, what was y'all favorite moment of Mike and all that. But make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what y'all want to see next, man. And I'm going to see y'all in the next video. But make sure y'all continue to keep thanking the man upstairs, building a relationship with him. And he love y'all. And I'm going to see y'all in the next video. And we out.